Okay. So today we will discuss about data loading from file. That means we will be having the data in format of file, and that data we will load to our Snowflake table. Okay. So in this case, so basically total 6 formatted file can be loaded to Snowflake: CSV, JSON, Parquet, Avro, ORC, XML. This total 6 formatted file can be loaded into Snowflake. Okay. So any formatted, in between any format, if you have the file in any format, you can read that data and you can load into Snowflake table. So today we will discuss about so in between CSV is the structured data, remaining are semi-structured data. So today we will discuss about the structured data loading. Tomorrow we will discuss about the semi-structured data loading. Okay. So, and another concept you have to know, that is basically there are two type of, okay. First of all, what is stage? Stage is nothing but the location where we keep files which to be loaded into Snowflake table. So stage is nothing but the location. So if you want to load a file data to a Snowflake table, what you have to do, you have to load that file to some location, right? And from that location you have to load. So in maybe in a directory, in a folder, somewhere you have to keep that file, right? Otherwise how will you load? So that location we called as an stage location or stage area, or you can call it as a stage. In Snowflake term, we call it as a stage. The location where we keep files which to be loaded into Snowflake table, that location we call as a stage. Okay. Now there are two type of stages there in Snowflake. One is internal stage. Another one is external stage. Okay. Internal stage is nothing but which is managed by Snowflake. Okay. Internal stage is nothing but which is managed by Snowflake. That means this location will be completely under control, completely manageable by the Snowflake. So that is the location we call as an internal stage. Okay. If you take the location hired, or if you take the location service, or if you take the storage services from AWS, Azure, and GCP, that is what we called external stage. That means you want to keep your file, but basically you want to keep your file stored in some location, and that location is in outside of the Snowflake vendor. That means you are not keeping the file into the same basically you are not keeping the file inside the Snowflake infrastructure, you are keeping the file into outside the Snowflake vendor. That means you are hiring, or you are taking the storage services from some other cloud to load your file there, and from there you are loading the data to Snowflake. So that is what we called external stage. External stage is the location which is managed by either AWS or Azure or GCP. Okay, the location which is managed by either AWS or GCP or basically Azure. So that is what we called external stage. Okay, so internal stage is nothing but the location which is managed by Snowflake itself, and the external stage is the location which is managed by either AWS or Azure or GCP. So today we will start with AWS. That means we will start with external stage AWS. We will see the AWS example today and tomorrow. And with that, we will load the CSV data. Tomorrow I'll show you AWS with the semi-structured data. Okay. So let's start this one. So this part you have to remember. Total 6 formatted file can be loaded. CSV, JSON, Parquet, Avro, RC, XML. What is stage? Stage is the location where we keep our files stored, which to be loaded into Snowflake. So that location we call as a stage. Now there are two type of stages possible in Snowflake. One is external stage, one is internal stage. Internal stage is nothing but the location where which is actually managed by Snowflake itself. That is what we called basically internal stage. Now external stage is nothing but the location which is managed by either AWS or Azure or GCP. That is what we call external stage. Okay, simple. So now we will see how basically we will be loading the data from AWS to Snowflake, and the data will be in a structured format. Okay. So first of all, what you have to do, you have to go to the Google, and here you have to open AWS AWS trial account. So get a free trial account. So like that you have to open. So Amazon Web Service AWS free trial account you have to open. Okay, separately. Like how you opened your Snowflake trial account, similarly AWS free trial account also you have to open. Like here you have to click on the create a free account, and there you have to provide all your details like name, location, email address, phone number, all the details you have to give, and you have to provide your credit card details or debit card details as well. Initially, basically they will deduct just minimum amount to verify your card. For outside of India it may be some cents, and from India it will be 2 rupees or something. So they will be deducting some amount to verify, and after some day they will be refunding that amount also. And until and unless you are moving to a paid version, they will not deduct any charges from your card. So that is not any issue. So you can open your free trial account from here, and once it is open, after that you have to log into that account. So I have logged into my account. This is my account. And once you logged into your to your AWS account, so first of all you need basically two services from here. So here services, you will be getting this services box here. So two services I need. One is S3. S3 is nothing but simple storage services or scalable storage services. So basically this is storage services that is provided by the AWS. So we will click on this S3 and I'll open into a new browser. That is one services I need. Another one I need is called IAM, Identity and Access Management. So this services I need, I'll search it and I'll open it in a new browser. Okay. So one, I need the Amazon S3. Okay. Another one, I need the basically your IAM, Identity and Access Management. Amazon S3 is nothing but this is the storage services that is provided by AWS. Now here this is the cloud storage, and here we will be loading our files. Okay, and because this is another vendor and Snowflake is another vendor, that's the reason we call it as an external stage. Okay. So whenever I reach to the S3 Amazon S3 services, so first of all I need to open a basically I need to create a bucket. So let me create a bucket here. I will click on the create bucket option, and there you can choose the region. Okay, and after that put the bucket name. So let's say I'm writing here bucket name is, let's say like that, I'm keeping the bucket name. So it's a 630 bus. So I'm writing here like that. I'm keeping the bucket name. Okay, anything you can write, no issue. Come down. I'm allowing the public accesses. bucket versioning, you can keep it disable. Okay, default encryption, we will keep it server-side encryption with Amazon S3 managed keys. So whenever our files will be loaded into the S3 bucket, basically they will be generally they will be encrypted by the Amazon itself. So it will be secured your files and come down, and we'll just go for the create bucket option. Okay, so let's create the bucket here. So bucket got created. So I'll just search the bucket name. So this is the bucket I created. So I'll open it. Now here, either you can upload the files here directly, or you can create a folder and there you can upload. So what I will do, I will create a folder here separately. And let's say today we are loading the CSV file. So I'm just keeping the folder name as a CSV. You can keep anything. That's not an issue. I'm just keeping the name as a CSV. After that, as it is, and I'm going for the create folder option. So in the S3, Amazon S3, I created one bucket, and there I created one folder. And whatever folders, whatever buckets I created, everything is getting created in the cloud itself. Okay, so Amazon S3 is the Amazon is the cloud provider. So it is creating this. So that means this storage has been created in the cloud itself. Okay. Now in the CSV folder, so this is the Amazon S3. There inside the bucket, I created this bucket, and inside the bucket, I created this folder. And inside the folder, I will upload my files. So this is the storage space. Now, instead of keeping your files into like in any local storage, or you can assume that if I keep my file into the local folder or local desktop in my desktop, so what I would have done. So basically, I will be creating one folder, there I will be creating another folder, and there I will load my file. So that same thing we are doing in the cloud. So we created one bucket, and this is the cloud storage that is provided by AWS. And there we are creating one bucket, and inside the bucket I'm creating one folder, and there I will be loading my files. Okay. Now before loading the files, I'll show you what are all the files we have. This is a student.csv file, which is having a couple of records about the student. We have a student underscore v1.csv. This is also having some student related record. And also we have a student underscore error.csv. This file is having intentionally created 3 errors like this one. Like you can see, it's an integer value. Now there I am inserting the character. Similarly, the phone numbers format is also different. So this is intentionally created some error here so that the error can be encountered, and we will be getting the will be able to know that how to track the error while loading the data. So these files data, these are all the data available into the file. Now this data I will be loading into the Snowflake table. And first of all, what I will do, I will click on the upload button, and will go for the add files option. And let me go to the load section. And here we have this student.csv files. So let me load the student.csv files first. So I am loading this student.csv first files, and then I will be loading the remaining two. And let's upload the file here. So you can see I uploaded the file. Now in this folder, in this CSV folder, you have this file uploaded, student.csv. So this file uploaded in where? This file uploaded in AWS storage, AWS cloud storage. Okay. Now from here, I will load my data to Snowflake table. That is what my main motivation. So to do that, what I need to do, first of all, I will be creating one database. So let me create a database called load underscore file. So let's create it. Once the database is created, after that you can create the schema as well. So that's your part, but I'm just not creating, I'm just creating the database load file, and there we have a public schema. So I'll be working with the public schema only. So first of all, I'm creating one table inside the schema. So why this table is getting created? Because this table will be the target table where I will load the data from the file. That's the reason I'm creating the table. Now this is not mandatory that your table will be as same as your file. Like your file can and table can be different. Like maybe your file is having 100 columns, your table is having only 10 columns, that is also possible. And vice versa is also possible. Your file is having 10 column, your table is having 100 column, that is also possible. Like both ways is possible. Like your file and table can be completely different, that is also possible, no issue. While loading the data, if you map properly that which column from the CSV you are loading to which column into the table, then that's enough. So your file and table need not to be completely identical. Okay. So anyways, so I'm creating this student table. Let me create. Once the table gets created, so you can see this is the student table got created, and the table right now, you can see the table right now, no records are there. Okay, so after that we are okay. So now the table got created. Now next step is basically we need to create the connection. So that means this is, remember one thing, this is the Snowflake account, and this is the basically your AWS account. Now this is the basically third party vendor. Snowflake is a third party vendor for AWS, right? And that's the reason if you want to read the files which is loaded into the AWS bucket, you need some permission. Otherwise, you won't be able to read the file or load to the table. That is not possible. So that permission means you have to set up the connection. So whenever you are doing the connection setup, so basically what you have to do, basically whenever you are doing the connection setup, so you need the IAM. So as I told you, this is the storage bucket and another services I have taken, and that is what we call IAM, Identity and Access Management. And here we need to create the roles. So we have to go to the roles section here. Okay. And here you have to create the roles. Why? Because the roles will provide you the specific permissions with credentials. So that's the reason we need to create the AWS roles, which will be help us to connect with this Snowflake account with this AWS account. Okay. So it will give the permission to this account to read the file from this AWS bucket. That is the permission we need. So I'll go to the create role option. In the create role option, first of all, we need to select this one, AWS account. Here you have to choose your trusted entity. I will be choosing this one. Why? Because if you read the description, allows entities in other AWS accounts belonging to you or a third party to perform actions in this account. Because Snowflake is a third party tool and it will be performing some action in the AWS account. What action? It will read the file which is stored in the CSV folder, and that's the reason we will be choosing this option, AWS accounts. Okay. After that we will come down, and here I will be choosing this account, because which here it is asking that which account you want to connect. Either you want to connect this AWS account or you want to connect any other AWS account. If you want to connect any other AWS account, then you can choose that one, this option, and you can write the basically ID of that account. But I will be connecting with this account only, so I have chosen this account. Okay. And in the option field, we will be choosing the first one, require external ID. Why? Again, I will be reading this part, best practice when a third party will assume this role. Snowflake is a third party tool. That's the reason I will be choosing this require external ID option. Right now, I don't have any external ID created, so I will be keeping couple of digits here. Anything you can keep as it is. It will be external ID will be generated later and we will update later. As of now, for dummy purpose, we are just keeping some number here. After that, we are going to next. And now what permission you need? I need the permission to read the file from the S3 bucket, right? So what I will do, I will click here and I will write here S3. Whenever I will write here S3, automatically lot of S3 related permissions will be provided here. Now from here, let's say I will be choosing this. Let's say I'm choosing this Amazon S3 full access. It provides the full access on the bucket level, like read, write, delete option, everything. So let's say I'm choosing this option. Okay. Amazon S3 full access. I want full access on the Amazon S3. Now I'll go to the next option. Now it is asking to provide the role name. So to provide the role name, let's say I'm providing role like that I'm providing. Okay. You can write any name here. After that, you have to write the description. I'm just writing my name here. You can write the some description if you want here. Like this account, this role is to be connected with this account or something like that. You can write an explanation. You can write the description of the role here. After that, I will come down and I will create the role. Once the role is created, what I will do, I will basically in the search box, I will paste the name. So this role name will be coming and I will click on that role. So this is my role created. Okay. Now again, I will go to the Snowflake site. Now here I will be creating one storage integration object. What it will do, this storage integration object actually will be providing you, or it will be, it is a storage integration, means it will be integrating storage with Snowflake. That means simple thing. Basically, if you want to connect with the AWS S3 bucket with Snowflake, we do with the storage integration object. By using this integration object, actually we establish the connection between the Snowflake and the Amazon S3. That means storage bucket. Okay. So that is the reason it's called as storage integration object. So create or replace storage integration S3 underscore int. By using this storage integration object, we will be connecting, we will be establishing the connection between the Snowflake and AWS. Now, while creating the storage integration object or while working with the storage integration object, so generally there will be two way. First, couple of information that I will be taking from AWS and I will share with Snowflake, and couple of information Snowflake will generate that I will take and I will share with AWS. So both way information sharing will happen and the data and the connection will be established. So that is the reason, let's say while creating the storage integration object, so I'm writing here create or replace storage integration. This is the Snowflake object actually, and which will be created to basically integrate with the AWS storage, not only AWS storage, any cloud storage. So from the Snowflake account, if you want to get the permission on the permission to read the files or permission on the any storage services of other cloud, you need the storage integration object to be created. Okay. So create or replace storage integration object S3 underscore int. Type is equal to external stage, because AWS is the external stage. This is what we call stage, and this is an external stage. As I told you, there are two type of stage. One is internal, one is external. External means nothing but like it's a kind of like what I can say. It's outside of the Snowflake vendor. That's the reason we call it as an external stage. So we'll write type is equal to external stage. Storage provider is equal to S3. Who is providing the storage? S3 bucket. So that's the reason S3. Enable true. Now storage AWS role ARN and storage allowed location. These two information we will be taking from the AWS ground and we will be loading, we will be storing here, or we will be sharing with Snowflake. Now you can see storage AWS role ARN. So I'll go to the role section. This is the role I created today, right now. And whenever you entered into the role, here is one ARN option is there, Amazon Research Names. So this ARN string you have to copy. Okay, this ARN string we will be copying, and we'll come here and we will paste this string here. So let's paste it here, delete it and paste. So this is the string we pasted here. Second thing, storage allowed location. Which location you want to allow to access by this Snowflake account. So it is not like entire S3 bucket will be accessible. No, a specific bucket or which bucket or which folder you want to access. So that you have to specify, right? So that's the reason we will be providing this bucket name. That means which bucket you want to access. So I will copy this bucket name from here. And remember, your path will be looks like this way because you are working with the S3 bucket. So your URL will be looks like this one, S3 colon double slash and then the bucket name. And if you want to write the folder name, then you can write the folder name also. You can specify the folder name also here. I am keeping it till bucket level because if I in the storage error location, if I provide the location till the bucket level, then what is the benefit we will get? Let's say inside this bucket, whatever files, whatever folders we will be creating, all will be accessible by the same storage integration object. Every day you don't need to establish the connection. So that means tomorrow whenever I will load the JSON file, Parquet file, if I create another folder here, I don't need to create another storage integration object. By using this storage integration object itself, I will be able to access all the files, all the folders, whatever I created inside the bucket. But if I provide the storage integration object allowed location till the CSV, that means let's say here I mention the CSV as well. So if I mention the CSV folder name as well, then what will happen? Whatever files I will be loading inside the CSV folder, that will be accessible by the storage integration object. But whenever tomorrow I will be creating another folder here, so I will be needing to create another storage integration object, or I need to modify this storage integration object to access that file. So that I don't want. So I want, that's the reason I provided the location till the bucket level. Whenever I will be providing the location till the bucket level means under this bucket, whatever files folders will be created, all will be accessible by the storage integration object. So that's the reason I provided file for path till the bucket level, and we will be creating this storage integration object here. So let's create it. Once the storage integration object is created, after that I will be executing DEST, that means describing integration S3 underscore IT. S3 underscore INT is the name of the storage integration object. Okay, so DEST describing integration S3 underscore INT. This statement you have to execute. Once you execute this statement, you will be getting some property value here. Okay, so what value you will be getting? So total 8 or 9 values you will be getting here. You can see total 8 values you will be getting. In between couple of values you will be getting whatever you have provided while creating the storage integration object. Like you can see enabled. Enabled value is true. Enabled is the property value is true. So this value you have provided while creating the storage integration object. Now storage provider S3. This value also you provided while creating the storage integration object. Now storage allowed location. This value also you provided while creating the storage integration object. You can see this is the property value. Okay. Now after that storage AWS role ARN, you can see storage AWS role ARN. This value also you provided while you created the storage integration object. So some of the value which I created, which I provided while creating the storage integration object will be coming here. Along with that, two value mainly will be created by Snowflake. So one is storage AWS IAM user ARN, line number 5. For your case also it will be line number 5, storage AWS IAM user ARN. This value has been created by Snowflake. Also line number 7, storage AWS external ID. This value also created by Snowflake. So as I told you, some of the value will be generated by Snowflake, and that I need to share with the Amazon. So first of all, line number 5, I will go on the right side. This is the property value, and I will copy the property value from here. Okay, and I will go to the roles, whatever roles I created. Okay, next come down here. Okay, so 1 second. I will click on the trust relationship in the role. If you come down here, you have a trust relationship. I will click on the trust relationship. Once I click on the trust relationship, I will come down. Here we will place, we have a edit trust policy option. We'll click on that edit trust policy. Okay. And here we have an option called AWS. One node will be there. First of all, whatever the values are there against AWS node, we will be deleting it. And whatever the line number 5 you copied from here in the Snowflake, copied from this line number 5, storage AWS IAM user ARN. You just need to copy this string, and I will be pasting the string here. Okay. After that, what I will do, I will copy the line number 7. Line number 5 is done. Now line number 7 against that property, whatever value is there, I will copy it from here. And I will go here, and you remember that in the external ID we kept some couple of numbers. So that time we didn't have that external ID. Now we generated the external ID with Snowflake. So I'll paste here. So simple thing you have to understand. You can see here. If you go to the account section, this is your account. You can see MX99261. This is your account, and this account's located ID is TO75199. And if you see this external ID string, it is showing TO75199. So simple thing, by using this, your basically role is providing access to this account to read the S3 bucket, to read this S3 bucket. That is what we are doing actually. So once I provided the external ID, we will update the policy. Now our setup is done. Now I'll come down to this, and we'll go to the SQL. Okay. Now next is two more things we need to do. One is I need to create a file format. What is file format? What is file format? File format is nothing but basically it's a database object. It will be created inside the database, inside the schema. So this file format is nothing but, you see, as I told you, there are 6 formatted file can be loaded into Snowflake. So that's the reason this is one of the so basically whenever you are loading any data to Snowflake, you have to inform Snowflake, or you have to provide the instruction to Snowflake that which type of files you are gonna load. If you want to load CSV file, you have to create a file format with type CSV. If you want to load a JSON file, you have to create a file format with type JSON, like that. So that, for an example, let's say I'm create or replace file format CSV underscore format, create or replace file format CSV underscore format, type is equal to CSV, skip header is equal to 1. Okay. So create or replace file format CSV underscore format, type is equal to CSV, skip header is equal to 1. So I am creating a file format, name is CSV underscore format, the type we have mentioned CSV. Okay, so that means we are creating a file format with type CSV. This file format has to be created because this is the database object. If you see in the load file database in the schema, you can see table created, file formats created. File formats is the database object. By using this file format, you will be able to provide instruction to Snowflake that what type of files we are loading. That is one thing. And second thing, I need to create a stage object also. Stage object is nothing but, see, I told you that there are 2 type of stages there. One is internal stage, one is external stage. Now I created one stage into the AWS S3 bucket. This is the stage. This is the stage where we have the file loaded. That location we call it as a stage. Now I need a Snowflake object which will be pointing to this stage. It is nothing but simple word, that stage object, whatever I will create the stage object in Snowflake, that stage object will be pointing, or that will be pointed towards or pointed to this path with combination with containing all the connection information, file format information, all will be provided. Also the URL will be provided. So to get the URL for this folder where we have loaded the file, actually I'll copy this S3 this symbol. If you copy, that entire URL will be created, that is copied. Now we will write here create or replace stage name, any name you can mention. I have mentioned external ext CSV file we are loading. That's the reason CSV, and this is a stage. And this type of stage is nothing but it's an external stage. So let's create, and in that URL we will be mentioning that particular path. Okay, so s3 colon double slash, this is the bucket and this is the folder name where we have that file actually. After that, storage integration is equal to s3 underscore int. This is what we created, and this information, this storage integration actually having the connection related information available. So we are providing the connection related information here. Along with, we are providing the file format is equal to CSV format. Whatever I created, that option also we are providing. So all the details we mentioned here, and we will be creating this stage. Now this stage access, this stage object will be combining all your path direction. That means from where you want to load the data, because I want to load the data from this folder. So that path will be provided here. Along with that, the what type of files you want to load, that also information will be there. Along with the connection information also will be there within this object. So all the information will be compact with this object. So let me create this object, and this object is nothing but the stage object, sorry, database object. So if you refresh it, you will be able to see table stage file format. So stage also created inside the database, inside the schema. Now you can simply you can write the select star from student. So you can see no record is there. Okay, once you created the stage, you can write here list at the rate. Always remember your stage will be referenced by the at the rate symbol. Okay, so you have written here list at the rate, then the stage name, then the stage name. Enter and basically execute that. You will be able to see the file which you have loaded here. You can see here you loaded student.csv. Now from the Snowflake ground itself, you are able to see that student.csv file you have loaded. And if you are able to see this value, that means your connection is established properly. Okay, now another thing you have to remember, that before loading, if you want to verify your files, you can write here like this way. Let's say select $1 colon $2 comma $3 comma $4 comma $5. Why I am writing, and you can write here from at the rate external stage. Why I am writing $1, $2, $3, $4, $5? Nothing but it's a simple calculation. There are in the CSV, whatever I loaded to the S3 bucket, that is having 5 column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 column. So that's the reason I'm writing here $1. $1 means the first column of the CSV, this one. $2 means second column of the CSV. $3 means third column of the CSV. $4 means fourth column of the CSV. $5 means fifth column of the CSV. From the external stage. So before loading, if you want to verify your file, you can verify. So by using this, so basically it will be showing you the data by using the file level metadata. So you will be able to see the file data looks like this way. Okay, so this is before loading. Okay, so till now we haven't loaded the data to the table. You can see the table is blank. Now I will load the data to the table. So simply we will be executing the copy statement. Copy is the statement by which we load the data. So for an example, let's say I'm writing copy into student. Student is my table. Copy into student from external stage. This is the external stage. You can specify the file name also here. Let's say inside this stage you have, let's say here I have only one file, but for an example here you have 5 files. Now from there you want to load only one file. So that file name you can specify here. If you are not specifying any file name, that means if you are only specifying the stage name, so that means if there is a 5 file, all the files will be loaded into this table. Okay, if you didn't specify the file name, there is another couple of ways is there to mention the file name or file pattern. I'll show you later. As of now, just understand this is the copy into student from external stage, and this is the stage that I created here with in this external stage. we have the URL from where the files to be loaded. We have the connection information. We have the file format information. All the information provided in the stage itself. Now the stage we are using in the from clause, and after that we are writing on error is equal to continue. We can write either on error is equal to continue option, or we can write on error is equal to skip file option. Instead of continue, you can write skip file also. Okay. What is the difference between on error is equal to continue and on error is equal to skip file? What is the difference between on error is equal to continue and on error is equal to skip file? So let's say I have written here on error is equal to continue. Then what will happen? Let's say I have a file where I have 100 records. In between that 100 records, maybe 90 records are corrected record, 10 records are bad record. That means 10 records are getting some issue to load the data into the table. Maybe length is big, maybe extra character is there, maybe conversion is not happening. A lot of things can happen. So let's say those records are having the problem while loading the data into the table. Now if you use the on error is equal to continue, then that 90 corrected record will be loaded successfully into the table. Remaining 10 record which is having the issue, those will be rejected. That will happen if you use the on error is equal to continue. But if you use the on error is equal to skip file, then the entire file will be skipped. That means no data will be loaded from the file to table if there is a single error also. In that file, if there is a single record having error, still the entire file will be skipped. No data will be loaded to the table. So that's the reason, according to your project requirement, you can use any one. Either you can use the continue option or you can use the skip file option. Okay, so for an example, we are writing continue. In coming examples, we will be in tomorrow's example, I'll show you the skip file also. Okay, so for an example, let's say we are writing on error is equal to continue, and let's say here I am executing this statement. Okay, and let's say I'm executing this. So you can see the file gets loaded. Total 24 record was there. Errors in 0. That means no error has came. So the data got loaded into the table. Now you can check your student table. You will be having the data loaded successfully into your table. Okay. Fine. Now I will go to the S3 bucket, and again I will go to the upload option, and I will go to the add files option. And now what I will do, I will be loading this student error.csv. Okay, let me go to the add files again, and I will be taking the another file called student underscore v1. So both student underscore v1 and student underscore error, both the files I am taking, and what I will do, I will load into this folder. So let it load it. So you can see in the CSV folder, I have right now this 3 files available. Okay, so student.csv already loaded into the table. Now v1 and error, these 2 files are there. Okay, now another thing I will show you. Let's say if you want to map at the time of loading the data. For an example, let's say this time I don't want to load the student name and age. I don't want to load the student name and age from the file to table. I want to load only student ID, grade, and emergency contact into the table. So from the first file, I loaded every record. From this 2 file, I want to load only this 3 column. So I just wanted to show you the example. If you want to map, then how will you map? So you will write in the copy statement, copy into student, and here you have to mention that which column you want to load. Let's say your file and table is not identical. Your file is having less column, your table is having more column. So in that case, what you will do? You will write here that specific column name which you want to load. Let's say I want to load student ID, comma grade, comma emergency contact. Okay. This 3 column I want to load into the student table from where? From this path. So I will write here select $1, $3, $5 from external stage. So this is how you have to do. Now you can see what we are doing: $1, $3, $5 from external stage. What does it mean? That means $1 is nothing but the first column of the CSV, which is the student ID. $3 is grade. $5 is emergency contact. So simple. So that's the reason what I'm doing. $1 means basically the first column of the CSV that is mapping with student ID. $3 means third column of the CSV mapping with grade. $5 means fifth column of the CSV mapping with emergency contact. Okay, and this is how we will be doing. And let me load this file. So once I executed this one, you can see student._v1.csv has been loaded successfully, completely, but student error.csv partially loaded. Why partially loaded? Because I used on error is equal to continue. So total 11 record was there. In between 8 record loaded and 3 error has been seen. Now whenever you have seen this 3 error, anyways, you can go to the student, select star from student. You can see total 46 record is there, and in between, first of all, this is the first file that I loaded. Now after that, you can see your student name and age has not loaded, because remaining 2 files we didn't have that file name loaded. That's the reason these are all coming null. Remainings has been loaded, right? Now there are one thing I want to tell you, because you can see, like, though in the second time we have the student.csv, but it has not loaded into the table. Why? Because whenever Snowflake loads the data file to the Snowflake table, it will not load the same file to the same table again. That means, because last time we already loaded the student file to the student table, that's the reason while loaded the file to the table, Snowflake will store the file level metadata as well. Snowflake will store the file level metadata as well, and that metadata will be kept stored into the Snowflake with for next 64 days. Now in between this time, same file cannot be loaded to the same table again without making any modification on the data level in the file. So if you want to load the same file to the same table, you won't be able to load. Now if you drop it and if you modify that file data level, if you add a new data or if you modify any existing data, then you can bring it and again you will try to load, it will be loaded to the record. But the same file it will not load to the same table again without making any modification on the file level, because of this metadata, whatever it stores while loading the data to the student table. Okay, so that is the reason, and that metadata will be kept stored into the with Snowflake for next 64 days. Okay, so that you have to remember. Anyways, so in the second time, whenever I loaded the data, I got some error as well, right? And that error we need to find out. To find out that error, what I need, I have to execute one function called validate function. This is the Snowflake's inbuilt function. Okay, this is the Snowflake's inbuilt function, and this function provides you the information about your error. This is a table function. This is the Snowflake's inbuilt function called validate, which will be taking 2 arguments. One is the table name, on which table you loaded the data. Another one is job ID. What is job ID? So in the monitor section, we have a query history. We'll go there. In the query history, we have that copy statement. We'll go here. If you come down, this is the copy statement which got this partially loaded error. Now this copy statements, we will use the query ID. We will copy the query ID, and that query ID is nothing but the job ID. So let me come down, and instead of this job ID, we will write here this one. Okay. So select star from table, validate student. Student is basically the table name. Job ID is this one. So I will execute this one, and once I execute it, I will get whatever error I have received. So you can see right now I got 3 error, all the 3 error. If you got 100 error, all the 100 error will be listed here. A is not recognized, C is not recognized, numeric value, this is not recognized. All are conversion error. So we will get the category as a conversion, and even you will be getting the rejected record list as well. These are all the record that is rejected. So all the record will be listed down here. So this is how you will be able to track the error when you are getting the error while loading the data. Okay. So this is how basically we load the data into Snowflake table from the AWS bucket. Clear? Any doubt? Any question? All good? Okay. So today we have seen how to load the CSV file to the table. Now in coming class tomorrow, I'll show you how to load the semi-structured data to Snowflake. Now semi-structured data will be in a key value pair, right? So it will be like your key value pair. So first we have to load the entire file to table, and then what you have to do, you have to load the you have to basically break those data and you have to bring it into row column format. So I'll show you tomorrow how to do that. So as of now, just practice this one and we will be joining in the next class. Okay. Clear? All doubt clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Can
Okay.
you share the notes, please? Queries.
Your voice is not coming. You are asking about the files. Yeah, I will be sharing the files. I will be sharing the code as well.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
The meeting has ended. Thank you for joining. Goodbye.